Hi there, my name is Danielle Madras, and this is my Week 1 presentation on gummy bear osmosis. The gummy bears in this experiment are going to be a prime example of osmosis, which is the flow of water from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower concentration. And this determines the concentration is tonicity. For this comparison, we will be looking at hypertonic and hypotonic solutions. So when the concentration of the solute in the cell cytoplasm is at in the solution is equal, it is deemed to be an isotonic solution. But when the cell will not, which is when the cell will not gain or lose any water. If the concentration of the solute in the cytoplasm cell is greater than the concentration of the solute in a solution, and it is referred to as hypotonic. So if it's hypotonic, the cell will actually swell and may possibly even burst. And lastly, if the concentration of a solute in the cell cytoplasm is less than the concentration of the solute in the solution, then the solution is hypertonic, and the hypertonic solution will cause a cell to shrink. So for this experiment, we need a couple of simple supplies. I grabbed 2 glass cups and filled them with approximately 250 mLs of tap water. You'll also need table salt and then gummy bears. So for step 1, like I said, we'll fill 2 of my glass cups with about 250 mLs of tap water. The 1 cup will remain simple and just have tap water in it, and the second cup I will be adding table salt to it until the salt will no longer dissolve. So with this experiment, I actually did it twice because the first time I was unsuccessful in the experiment. So what I ended up doing the second time around is actually putting up to half a cup of salt in that 250 mLs of tap water to make it a really salty solution. For the next step here, I would place 1 gummy bear in each one of the cups and wait somewhere between 6 to 10 hours for the gummy bears to soak in the tap water solution and the salted water solution. My prediction for this experiment was that the water would actually end up entering the gummy bear that was in the simple tap solution due to its hypotonicity, and that would cause the water to also leave the gummy bear that's in the salt water solution because of its hypertonicity. So again, the gummy bear in the regular water would swell and get really large, and then the gummy bear placed in the high salt concentration water would actually decrease or stay the same in size. So in the top picture up here, you can see my successful experiment. On the left is the gummy bear in the tap water that you can see is quite a bit larger and very gelatinous. On the right is my saltwater gummy bear, and on the bottom of that picture is the regular gummy bear right out of the package. So my gummy bear that was actually in the hypertonic solution stayed about the same, if not shrunk a little bit from the original gummy bear size. The higher concentration of salt is what shrunk the gummy bear. This occurs because the solution had a lower concentration of water in comparison to the gummy bear. Therefore, the water flew from the area of higher concentration, the gummy bear, to an area of lower concentration, the salt water, to create more of an isotonic solution. The gummy bear that was placed in the plain tap water actually swelled significantly and became very kind of gelatinous and soft and difficult to pick up, in contrast to the one in the salt water. This occurred and is a prime example of osmosis because the water from the cup actually flowed into the semi-permeable membrane of the gummy bear to create an isotonic solution and fill that gummy bear with more water. So initially, the gummy bear had a low concentration of water in comparison to the solution of water, and then to create the equilibrium in this hypotonic solution, the water needed to flow into the gummy bear, which then causes it to kind of swell, get larger, and get very gelatinous. Like I stated earlier, I did do this experiment twice. The picture in the bottom of the slide here that you can see was my original experiment. So I left the 2 gummy bears in the tap water and salt water for a 10-hour period, and both of them became very large and gelatinous. You can see the one on the right in the salt water is a little bit smaller in size, but overall they really were about the same. So I kind of went back to the drawing board with this and said, maybe I didn't add enough salt to my hypertonic hypertonic solution and make that salt watery solution salty enough. So I repeated the experiment, as you can see with my successful experiment at the top, added a lot more salt to that cup and was successful in getting that salted hypertonic solution to remain the same for this experiment.